Hi everyone, welcome to my second video. I'm going to show you, this is the first part of what I hope will be a 4 or 5 part series on what a scenario that I'm going to be working on called Corpse of the Leviathan. I'm writing it, coming up with the artwork for it, but today I'm going to go through it'll be some time-lapse video of me working through the first monster of the first kind of combat monster of the scenario, and then I'll show you some of what I have in my notes first, so you can kind of see what's going to happen over the course of this series. So hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you on the backside of the time-lapse at the end. So keep watching. Oh, like, share, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Okay, this is my notebook. I really like these Rhodia web notebooks. These are some stickers that I created, and so there's the back one. But anyway, so this is Corpse of the Leviathan. So the first thing that I kind of thought up was some of the creatures. I really kind of had this idea of, you know, what that monster is going to look like, and you'll see later. So I kind of went with some of these ideas in my head, but something that I didn't do was this mouth type with all the extra shark teeth, so how sharks have those extra rows of teeth. So I'm going to do that. This has some notes on how big I want it to be, you know, what kind of size, and then how it's going to work. But the one I think I'm going to go with is similar to like what these were, with the arms and a few tentacles. Not so much this. So this is going to be, the secondary monster is going to be a set of parasites. So there'll be some rules. We're working on some rules for what happens when you are swimming through areas with parasites and stuff. But the real big thing would be the maps, and I want the maps to be like you're actually basically playing on this big giant corpse of this Leviathan. So I think each one of these maps themselves will be in the I think maybe like 24 to 30 inch range. So I'm thinking, and then all you'll need to run it would be one of these, but I think it'd be kind of fun to have 4 if you had like some kind of a big event and you wanted to have maybe your combat go across this whole entire like monster and how it would work out. So that will be like split up and they'll kind of cross over between the two. And then, oh, that was nothing. Oh, this is just kind of some notes and what I was thinking in terms of history. Like this is how maybe you could have the map split across 2 tables. And then, this is kind of how I see the whole scenario running. So it's this 3D isometric map. So you have the big combat. Those first 4 maps will be on top, and then I'll have another cross section in the middle, and then like a final combat down below in the gullet. You know, where the whole thing would be kind of going. So I think that'd be kind of fun. So, but this is how these are these web notebooks. I like this dot pattern. I don't know if the camera picks it up or not, but I think the dot pattern is kind of fun because then you can just do your, you know, make up your scenario, see how things go. But kind of fun. These things are, you know, they got, it's the back's got one of these, like, you know, envelopes so you can keep people's business cards and stuff in there. So pretty cool. Comes a time lapse, and here's what I'm using right here is just basically just a regular Pentel retractable pencil. It's 0.5. Can't find that I'm looking for. Anyway, it's a nice pencil to have. It's easiest for sketching. You don't have to sharpen it. Things, you can get a decent line. It's hard to get darks, really, but in general for sketching, it's just a great thing to have. You never have to sharpen it. Decent eraser on the back. So I was working on this originally, the creature, and then I thought, oh, he needs to be doing something, so I gave him this little elf. It looks like his back's broken, but that's okay. Give him a back fin, a couple of tentacles. I almost wish I could draw this fast in real life. But you can get some decent darks, not really great. So now I'm using a Molotow black liner pen, and it's their one that I think they just call it a round. It's a decent black. Can't really get thick and thin lines with it though, so. But another one of those things that's decent for sketching. Been able to get some pretty good black and white illustrations done at conventions for people, character portraits and that kind of thing. Get those claws going. Some wrinkles. Want this big tentacle to show up. I like it having the two arms, and then so that it can actually manipulate things, and then the tentacles for grabbing, crushing. Poor PCs, or NPCs. Poor hapless adventurers. Yeah, this guy's gonna cast a spell. Hopefully something good. Yeah, a lightning bolt. Something to work on. Something that would be nice on the water. I don't know if a fireball would probably work underwater, but he's pretty close to the detonation zone. Okay, so I've switched over to a Derwent Inktense pencil here, and that's what I've used in the last thing. So you can water it down and kind of get a nice kind of wash effect. Only negative about doing this way was the paper's kind of cheap, so it started to really buckle on me pretty badly. There were a couple areas where if I could tell if I pushed too hard, it was going to just tear. Not with the water brush, but later on when I added more pencil back in. But they are definitely a fun thing to sketch with. Right here I am using this basically motorized eraser. And I really didn't have to do that. I just kind of I had it around and wanted to see how it worked. Worked okay. They wanted to get kind of a nice dark depth going there. With the burst of the spell. You can kind of see how the paper's buckling a little bit, but here I'm working in with a little bit thinner black liner, a little bit of cross-hatching detail. I'd go a lot further if this was a final image, but so anyway, I wasn't really liking how that creature was turning out, so I decided to kind of do some smaller kind of ideas, some different thoughts on how they could work. That first one with the octopus back end is the octopus. I didn't like how that was like basically a big dress. which isn't a problem, but also an octopus has a mouth in the middle of its tentacles, and that seemed too much like the mouth as an anus, which is kind of a weird. So this guy I kind of liked, but I eventually write down it's too sage-like. I think he has his hands folded, but I think could work for a spell casting variant. And then I thought, okay, his eyes. It was the eyes that were bothering me, the eye stalks. And so I wanted to make him more shark-like, the black. And then I thought maybe give him more eyes, like a spider. Crazy teeth, weird tongue. So this is the kind of the design I think I like the most. So it's upper torso with those extra tentacles, and then a shark, basically back end of a shark. Grab you with his tentacles. You can use tools. If I wanted to, maybe he's going to end up using could use battle axes. And good for crushing tiny little guys. Oh, and those were some notes on what I want this creature to do. Here I'm using the black liner again. Like 900 times the speed. Poor little guy. Probably a paladin. Maybe a bard. Yeah, it's probably a bard. Bards are crunchy. So that's this would be part 1 of my Corpse of Leviathan video, and I just got to come up with a name for that first creature. I don't really know what I'm going to call it yet. Right now in my mind, it's just basically a merman ogre kind of thing. I don't know. So I'll figure that out, and hopefully it sounds cool and it's not just some like weird crazy name, but that's kind of fun too. So anyway, just please like, share, and subscribe if you like what I'm doing, and hopefully things are improving. I'm kind of working through how to learn Premiere. These are some examples of things that are up on my Threadless site if you want to help support the channel. So you got just different kinds of things, my D20s, and then kaboom, baby. So anyway, hope you like what I'm doing, and I still have to figure out where this, my camera's in a weird thing. It's like the lower left corner of the screen. So do I stare at the camera? Do I stare at it? Where do I stare? So hopefully it's not too distracting. Anyway, see you next time. Bye.